So
Yeah,
anything that jumped out at you after watching it?
yeah. You know what? We put them on the line 23 times. We've got to do a better job of defending without fouling. Post defense was a little shaky. We were going to play Frank around 10 minutes last night without Braxton. That's in our other exhibitions of scrimmage. We had trouble there too. So we got to clean that up. But I thought we shared the ball. A couple breakdowns defensively, but I was pretty happy for a first exhibition game with the way that they played together. And we're first on the floor. We shared it, and those are all good signs.
With Corey coming off the bench, is that kind of the perfect goal for within 6-7 band and runs for him without having that tuition possibility immensely?
Well, he could start on 90% of teams in our league. He's that caliber player. Played the most minutes in our game last night, but his spark off the bench, he's brought great energy, shot the ball exceptionally well, was really good on defense. That's, with our man, he's been really good. And so, him and Nate Calmes came in, and it was, there was no letdown. It was relentless, and that's a luxury for sure.
Sabir Wheeler showed off his passing last night, had 7 assists. How much did Oldbreath offense have a true point guard like that on the roster?
Well, both him and Pauly combined for 12 assists and 1 turnover, and I don't even know if they combined for 40 minutes. I think it was 35. They're pass-first guys. They're very unselfish. But yeah, his speed and his ability to deliver, like it's not just the pass, he delivers it on target, and he can create a lot of easier baskets for most of our players.
Like between the scrimmage and what you saw last night, where do you feel like the transition, the changes are making the?
Well, I think, last night, I felt comfortable playing 10 based on how the game was going at the beginning. Like I said, when I started making the first couple subs, they were really aggressive on it. Like the defense kept getting, it was good. There was a lot of energy, and the guys were playing exceptionally hard. So that's a luxury. And so, I think I was really happy. I think we have the ability to play 10. Every game's going to be a little bit different, but to have those guys come in and do what they did was huge.
Hey, obviously it's a good problem to have, but how do you keep 10 players happy? Because you didn't have 2 guys in your rotation last night.
We have the coaching staff did a great job of putting this team together, and we've got, it's like Saw and Pauly, they're pass first guys. That's who they are. That's their nature. Wilhelm, he just plays the right way. It's you have your system, you play it, and a lot of things you don't promote by the type of people that they are. Elite passers. Help each other, and when you have that, the other side completely sticks out. If the guy takes a quick shot or makes a selfish play, but I think that's been contagious with our team, and so if we can keep that, I literally feel really, really comfortable. The 12 guys on our roster that are on scholarship right now, a couple of can't play. I don't know if there's a difference. It's going to be weekly. Injuries, those types of things, but all of them can impact the game. We played last night without Braxton and Wesley, 2 pretty good players, it's going to be keep everybody happy by winning and promoting the same thing, all in this together.
Great. I was sitting in the gym last week, and Wheeler and Brooks weren't lively, and I said Kentucky West. They didn't laugh, but I still think you having 2 Kentucky starters, proven starters at that place, a Blue Blood place, is a huge thing for your program. And I think guys that are picking all at 9 preseason bowls, I think, do you not know they have 2 Kentucky starters? Could you talk a little bit about that?
You know what? Xavier, when he was at originally at Georgia, like literally led the SEC major conference in assists. And they went to Kentucky and they were a number 1 seed or a 2 seed, I think, in the NCAA tournament. But he's a true point guard, elite point guard. Our talent. I mean, they're both All-Americans coming out of high school. The thing that I think is not just Kentucky, he came here last year and he averaged 17 a game, where at Kentucky he averaged 10 and he kept getting better. And I've said this to numerous people since our first year, going into year 2. That year we brought back Noel, all freshman. We brought Noah Dickerson, all league, and Matisse Thybulle, all defense. Since then, we lost, Isaiah, you lost Jade McDaniels, then you lost Terrell Brown and Emmett Matthews. Like we lost major key players to a team. And to be able to return Keon Brooks, who was an all-league player, return Braxton Mia, who was an all-defensive player in the league, return Corin Johnson, who was right on the borderline of being all-rookie, returning Frank Kepnon, who, if Braxton was all-league, is an all-league caliber defensive player. That, I think, is a huge part. And then putting the pieces together, like you say, Xavier Wheeler, who's an elite point guard, and Paulie and Moses, the shooting. I across the board, positionally, I think we're as good as in the upper echelon of our league for sure.
And Brooks have much input in.
You know what? In recruiting, it's so funny. People say, how'd you get Keon Brooks? Well, he was teammates with Isaiah Stewart. And a lot of times when you're in the portal, it comes back to relationships and trust in a short period of time. And then when Xavier was in the portal, Keon Brooks had played with him. They talked about his experience here and him coming back. And when Keon Minifield left, the need to have an elite point guard, and from player development with Coach Conroy to one of his favorite players of all time was Isaiah Thomas. And Isaiah was practicing with us last week. So there's so many great parts of the history here, and wanting to be a part of it and wanting to win big. And I think a lot still to come. We have a long way to go, but they've been tremendous for sure.
Getting back to keep players happy, tips, some that want to start, some that don't mind coming off the bench, some it's all about the minutes.
I think Frank last year was a great example of a guy who could start on any team in our league. And Braxton started, but he played more minutes at the time before he got injured. And it's being selfless. It's one of the things that we talk about in our program. Corin was, I put in Anthony Holland. I put in Nate Calmes first. KJ, the eighth man last night, played the most minutes. And so I think that type of culture, and it could be any player on any given night. And that's what our depth is. That's what I think we can be. We have that.
How do you keep Nate off of the floor? Because it seems like
pretty good.
Yeah, about it.
I mean, he averaged 17 a game in a Division I. They didn't have a great record where he played, but he was a highly efficient player and averaging 17 in Division I. He can play. The thing that I love about him is he plays the right way. If he has a shot, he'll shoot it. If he doesn't, he passes it. It's real simple. Like, he knows what he is. We're trying to get him to play better on the defensive end. He's working on it. But he's a really good player, Percy, for sure.
Christian King, is there a chance he could redshirt? Are you talking about that at all?
Other than Moses, he's probably been our second best shooter in all of the preseason. And when we were in Europe, he knocked down shots. I think he had 6 threes in one of our games. He's an elite shooter. Two of our best shooters, probably him and Moses, in terms of in our 5-on-5, what we chart. One was 1 for 6 and one was 2 for 8. And those guys can really shoot. And we've seen it in game situations. So I like to have him. He's a guy who can come in a game and change it really, really quick. And he's been a great addition, I can tell you that.
But Christian, a lot of the time shooters just like to hang around the outside. He looks like one who doesn't mind getting in.
He got 3 offensive rebounds last night. He went in there, he tipped it, he played hard. I think with all freshmen, you just got to get comfortable. That was the first time, you play an exhibition game on the road, and then you come home and you're in I went to school right down the street. So it's pretty special, probably a lot of nerves. You just got to get through that. And that's why we just kept him in there. I kept telling him, you just got to see one go in, and he got one to go in. So I was really, really happy for him and proud of his progress so far.
Do you have a timetable for?
We think he'll be here for opening night. Yeah.
His was that ankle infield. Okay, he's talking all.
No, he's talking all season about he'd be better shooting three. What have you seen that makes you feel like Shed will be?
Because in every game that we've played, we've made 12 or 13. We had 10 in the first half of our other game. You know, like, listen, you're going to have games where you don't make shots. That's just what you can't, we got multiple guys that can make them. I think the way that we're trying to play offensively is there's a lot of rhythm, there's a lot of fun, there's a lot of speed. And when you've got two elite passers that we have, they're going to get easier ones and easier looks. And I think that's a part of it. For example, our leading three-point shooter last year made 49 and shot at 36%. Moses Woods, the addition, made 79 and shot 42%. And so and it's a proven over time. And so I think Anthony Holland's a guy who's been shooting the ball exceptionally well too. Corn, obviously 5 for 6. We've got a lot of options. But again, shooting the ball, it's going to be cold one day. It's not going to feel good. But that's why I was really, the way that we've been playing defense for the most part is where I've been really, that's really impressed with where we've hung our hat since we've been here on our good teams. And I think that's what's going to carry us with the ability to score.
When you guys become coaches, you build yourselves into your own people. I mean, you have your own nuances different from other coaches.
Sure.
And you've been the zone guy forever. How hard was it for you to hear that? I know you probably looked at the roster and said, I've got all these guys going to run the floor. But how hard was it for you to?
Do you know what? As a coach, I remember even my first year here, we were in a coaches meeting and we were trying to press. I wanted to play how old Louisville played. I wanted to press and go back into a matchup and turn you over. And we decided to go zone and ended up being really good for us the first couple years. But you got to evolve. I mean, I've coached with USA Basketball, so you're around Coach Thibodeau and you're around Nate McMillan. You've been around. My high school coach is one of the greatest high school coaches. A great man-to-man coach, Jerry Hobby, was with Coach Brown. Coach Brown was working with us at the beginning, building it. Quincy and Dub played the NBA. They're basketball, royalty in the sense of they locally and how they watch the game. And so we just wanted to play more modern style, I think, and really speed up the game. We've got good pressure. We've got good depth. And that will allow us to also get up and down the court. I think there's a rhythm to it that helps offensively to play man.
So you were known for the zone. Was it hard to not be known for the zone?
No, I mean, you got to evolve. And I want to win. You know what I mean? And I think, and we got to be able to do it. And it doesn't mean that we won't play zone because we have a good zone team. It could help us win 2 or 3 games this year. It's all. I think you got to have a fastball and then you got to have a good off speed pitch because certain teams will start getting comfortable. And but I want to be known as a winner and do what's best for this program and this team and man to man is it. So anyway, I'm just excited. Yeah. Well, Jerry had worked with him for 5 years at SMU, and so we had worked with Coach Brown. And the thing with Coach Brown is he likes to protect the paint and the 3-point the 3-point shot's open. I like to take away the 3-point shot, and so it's an interesting dynamic. But his knowledge and on the game and our staff. He'd been with us for 8 weeks before we went to Europe, and it just really helped us design it, put it together, and how we were going to build it every day. And, I think it's been big for us.
Ben Lee's a new addition to your staff. Can you tell us a little bit about Ben and what's his specialty?
Ben is one of those young coaches that's relentless in terms of relationship building on the recruiting trail, but also a guy like, you get in, and I remember being young in the business at the beginning. You just wanted to prove to the world that you could do it. And he's the guy. He's in the office at 5:30, 6 in the morning. If you say we need to go recruit over here, he's the first one on the plane. He's going. He's giving you feedback. He's great at relationships. So our presence has been felt a lot more in terms of on the road. And a guy who's a really good basketball coach, very organized, and lucky to have him. And he was in our GA program, just like Megan Black over there. People that you've trained, they've been part of what you do, and you bring them on board, and they know you, they know what you're all about. They work well with people, and we love them.
You also had Anthony Iglesias as a GA.
Yeah, and so he's been working with us. You watch him. I don't know some of the drills he does, but he's going to be a really good coach one day.
Is Frank on a pitch down to me? What were you?
Yeah, he just started practicing and stuff like that, and just being careful. Wilhelm's been playing really, really well, and want him to get some reps, be out there, and Braxton will be coming back, and so we'll have 3 pretty good frontliners.
Is it fair to say he's not fully 100% yet, or is he 100%?
No, he's 100%. He can go. He's right. I'm telling him, Frank, we need to talk. Frank, he goes out there and he knows one way how to play. And he did a rundown block the other day that was like, you're just anyway.
You've got a new athletic director. You guys had a chance to talk about the vision for us.
I haven't. I met, obviously, really excited for Troy. Thought his press conference was unbelievable. I had a chance to spend probably an hour with him, and we're going to have meetings these next weeks. But have never sat down with him and talked about the vision of the program at all.
Probably one of the things he's got to do is get that somebody elephant upon us.
Yeah. We're in the final stages of that in terms of, so we're excited about that. It's huge. And so that's a go.
When with that? So we'll find
25, spring of 25. Yeah. Excited.
Mike, there was a lot of attention, not a lot, but it's notable when working on that.
Yeah.
There are conversations about that developing more.
Yeah, the biggest thing is we just wanted somebody that, like anything, like people can sit there and say, okay, I watch my zone tape or our zone, and they can think they can go teach it. There's so many different nuances, and then how you build it on a day-to-day basis, right? And so this is what we were going to do, and this is what we were committed to do. Let's go find one of the greatest of all time. And we were lucky to have known him through Jerry, and came in. And like I said, for the first 8 weeks, we designed how we want to do it. I mean, we've changed 3 or 4 times just based on our personnel and seeing what we were able to do. And like I said, Coach Conroy and Coach Hobby do a great job teaching it every day. And their energy and their knowledge and the way that they get these guys to play is pretty darn good. And to see the results from being in Europe and seeing there, I think we're just scratching the surface of where we can be on the defensive end, especially with our depth.
Any other questions for Coach? Thanks, Coach.
Go Dog.